If you want to get the top odds every time, bet with Top Sport's Same Game Multi. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Gamble responsibly.
Welcome back to another edition of the Same Game Multi Podcast. Thank you again for joining us today. Massive episode today. We're going to recap the NRL Grand Final, discuss all the big talking points out of that game. Yes, that pass will be discussed a few times as well. We're then going to turn our attention to the big Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3 fight coming up on Sunday. There's also the Caulfield Guineas coming up. We'll have a look and see if we can't pick a winner. And head on over to the UK and check out the Super League Grand Final as well. So make sure you stay inside because we're about to kick off. As I welcome in Mr. Burtman.
Evening.
And Mr. Cherry, how are you, mate?
Oh, hoi, hoi. Sensational again. Daylight savings.
How good is it?
Gotta love it.
Love it.
Boys, new set. Nice little build on the weekend there, J Rod.
Yeah, mate, yeah, someone's got to do it.
You might be taking over Jamie Jury, I think, soon on the bloody Channel 7, whatever it is.
Wouldn't be hard. I've seen his abilities.
Can you backflip?
No, I actually tried that once. Tried to backflip into a pool from a rather large height. Landed flat on me back. And I still remember how red it was. Won't be doing it again.
Boys, NRL Grand Final. What do you think of the game?
I don't know if this has been, a little bit whingy or what, but I thought it was, at stages, it was a little bit boring. I certainly thought, from my point of view, I thought South could have done a lot more. I thought they went just that one off the ruck too many times. And in the end of the day, I think that's what may have cost them, especially when they needed meters. But they were just trying to punch up one. They were only going that one off the ruck, and they were basically smothered. So, but end of the day, end of the year, end of the season, the right side won in my eyes. They were the best side all night.
Yeah, been the best side for the last 2 seasons, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unlucky to miss out last year. They could have made it back-to-back, but wasn't to be. Ches, what are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I actually missed the first 20 minutes of the first half, but luckily for modern technology there, we got the old replays, so had to go back and watch the highlights there. I think South looked a little bit tired there during that, towards like the middle of the first half. They sort of weren't getting back in position, ready to defend on the 10-metre line properly. And I think all those tackles sort of took it out of them early as well. So that might have been one of the main factors of why they didn't do their best. Plus as well, I think with the kicks from Reynolds, his 2-point one that he missed there, that could have locked it up. And then that field goal, I think maybe that groin could have still been niggling at him, possibly as well. So
yeah, it makes you wonder whether that played a factor, that's for sure.
Well, it's funny that you say that, and people will say they're not going to play someone who's unfit, but in a grand final, sometimes you got no choice. I thought Reynolds was extremely poor with the kicking boots early in the first half. There was an attempted spiral that went 20 metres. I thought he struggled big time, which was a shame. But like you said, that groin injury, I think that could have been a turning point. Yeah.
like what we're seeing too, they didn't have many kick chases as well.
Well, they kept saying the commentators kept saying that there's not enough pressure on the Penrith kicks, whereas on the South's kick, they'll smother in the kickers. And I thought that maybe Reynolds might have been trying to kick it a little bit shallow. He wasn't deep enough. Whether that was, when you go back and through and have a look for that charge down, for example, and in my eyes, that changed the momentum of the game. The ball that was charged down, you have a look at how deep he is from the actual play the ball. He's almost in. It's just a short pass, which in that case, obviously they block the markers, but I don't think he was deep enough, and I thought that hurt South big time. The charge down. If you go back through and watch the replay, and I tell that to everybody, you actually have a look at how shallow Reynolds is when he kicks that ball. I think he could have been a couple of, a metre or two back, which would have got him that extra time to get that ball away and not for the ball to be charged down.
Still getting used to this camera, boys, but I forgot to mention, if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you do click the subscribe button, hit the little bell, get the notification. Also, give us a thumbs up, just like our mate Jakey does. And make sure you get notified as soon as the episode drops. Also, head over to our website and sign up to become a SGM Club member for lots of promos, giveaways, and exclusive content as well. So, boys, Nathan Cleary won the Clive Churchill medal on the night. Was he your Clive Churchill medals?
Yeah, he won it deservingly.
Yeah, definitely. It was the top, wasn't he?
His kicks pinpoint all night.
I don't think he'd done anything wrong at all, really.
No.
He was very, very solid. Probably, I reckon, one of South's better players would have been Cameron Murray, I think, for the night.
Oh, mate, he's good.
And he got that head knock early too. It didn't go off, surprisingly. But, yeah, he's great. Cameron Murray, exceptional player, has been for the last couple of years. It's going to be a shootout between him and Isaiah Yeo, I think, for the number 13, for the Australian squad. Not there's one going to be named this year, but two very quality players there, number 13s, that's for sure.
Flip of a coin for that choice, I think.
I was going to say they better be carrying a couple of coins because they might be doing that for a few positions, I think.
What was your highlight of the grand final, boys?
Mine was just the closeness. So, it was right up to the last a minute and a half. It was just really good. Sort of sitting on the edge of the lounge, holding on, looking at the bets, seeing if something was going to come off and waiting for that kick to go over the crossbar to put it into golden point, which we talked about last week, what would have happened between Reynolds and Cleary with the field goal attempts and everything, which would have made it an even more thrilling grand final.
Well, we actually spoke about it last week, a little Nostradamus from myself. I actually mentioned, if you're in a position where you needed someone to kick a penalty goal or something to win the game, who did you want? And we all went.
I went Reynolds.
With Reynolds if he was fit, and Reynolds had the chance, but unfortunately, just didn't get the biggies.
Just didn't swing, did it? Started and it just
it just straightened right at the end.
Don't know if there was a bit of wind there, maybe. I don't know.
Didn't have your keys in the bowl, I heard. It reminded me a lot of the 2015 grand final, boys, between the Cowboys and the Broncos. The way it was setting up towards the end, Reynolds with that kick from the sideline missed it, and then the field goal, and obviously missed that as well. But yeah, J Rod, what about your highlight, mate?
My highlight was actually the intensity of the game, and how long it lasted, particularly the Penrith line speed. Now, I spoke about that last week. But I said they've had the big games, Para, they played Melbourne and they played South the week before. Were they able to keep that line speed up at such an intensity? And they did it without fail. My highlight was basically the intensity, but how good Penrith were off their line and all night. Didn't stop all night. I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, I was a bit the same as you, Chez, just the closeness of the grand final. I like those close games, and as long as it's a good game, I don't really care who wins. I did pick Penrith by 4. They end up winning by 2, so I was fairly close there. But just that close contest right down to, like you said, the last few minutes where it could have been anyone's game, as opposed to a big blowout, a 30-6 or something like that. Yeah, there's a lot of tries scored, but I enjoy a close game of football.
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you have a low light at all out of it, boys?
I did. Now, not exactly the incident itself, but it's actually Nathan Cleary's reaction to Cody Walker's intercept pass. I thought it was absolutely unnecessary for him to get in around it. Go and celebrate the try. He's thrown that ball, but instead he turned around and wanted to rub cake in the face. And I thought it was, I wouldn't call it a dog act, but I thought it was very low. And in a situation like that, it's sort of it's been flogged on social media at the moment, and I think it's something it just didn't look good. That's the only thing. I don't know. Did you boys catch it or?
Yeah, I did. I think he was just trying to play a bit of mind games with Cody, and I think it might have worked, to be honest.
Well, not that it didn't work. They had no time to better the situation. But I just thought it was unnecessary, to be honest. I thought just go and celebrate the try and get in amongst it,
Might have been a dressing room play from Ivan. He might have been getting some wine games back at South for a change. You never know.
What about you, mate? Did you have a low light out of it?
Yeah, sort of. The HIA from Jerome Luai, on and off. I don't know. Panthers are starting to get this label as the golden side. Something happens with Nathan Cleary, he doesn't get penalised. Jerome Luai sent off the HIA straight back on. Fair enough. He could have been fine to play. It's just one of those little conspiracy things. But I didn't really have a real low light for the game, apart from Reynolds missing that kick to make it 8-all. But it's not really a low light, just a thing that's sort of just in the back of the mind.
Boys, my low light was Brian Toto not getting across the line. He cost me a multi, and also cost one of our SGM Club members a multi as well, one of the free multis that Cumming missed out by the one leg. So, unfortunately for the both of us, we missed out. But hey, that's why they call it gambling, right?
I actually saw one on Facebook. I was scrolling through, and it was actually $140,000 win if he had got it, and the only leg he missed out was on Toto. He picked all the try scorers and the correct score.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
wow.
Crazy.
Very good, boys. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up the NRL season that was?
Disappointing that it's going to be, another numerous months until,
February, I think the
late
trial
February
starts. So.
And watching trials, I'm a big football fan, but I'm not watching trials.
Yeah, that's a lot of stubbies in between seasons, isn't it?
100%.
But we've got a great summer edition of the show coming up, so stay tuned. All through the summer, we're going to cover all the sports that are being played, and I'm sure we'll manage to get J Rod punting on something else. So, all right, boys, let's move into three of a kind.
Three of a kind this week. So the talk is of this new NRL side. Now, I did see a little leaked article. I don't know how accurate it is, but the rumours are it's going to be the Redcliffe Dolphins that are going to be the side that are going to come in. And the other rumour is that the mastermind, Wayne Bennett himself, has officially signed. However, that is just rumours at the moment. I don't want to be speaking out of turn. But basically, this week, boys, the three of a kind. In our eyes, if you could only buy three players, who your first three players are, one had to be in the forward pack, whether it's a 9, an 8 or a 13, a half of some description, so a 6 or a 7, and somewhere in the backs, ideally a 1. Boys, I'll kick it off this week. We'll kick off with the forward. The big boys, give them a wrap. I'm going to go Sam Burgess. Whether it's whether it's a forward, a back edge rower or whatever, but I'm going to go Sam Burgess, just for his versatility. He can play big minutes. He can play 8. He can play at 13, and just his toughness and that leadership. And that's he'd be the captain as well. That drive that he offers, and as I said, just his leadership and everything around. He can rally boys, and just like for example, his efforts in the grand final. 2014, fractured eye socket in the first run of the game. Straight off the kickoff, played 80 minutes and won the Clive Churchill deservingly. So that's my first ace as a front rower, and it's Sam Burgess.
Good call, good pick.
Just quickly on Bennett with that new side. I was listening to the Wireless on the way home from work the other night, and they mentioned something that could be a possibility of him just floating around Brisbane while they're getting that new club set up, helping Walters. So we'll see what happens there next year. I'll run mine off. I actually mentioned him the other week. Big Shane Webke.
Hey, Webb.
Absolute weapon. Well, we talked about him there the other week. Can pretty much play a full game. Never had many errors. Lots and lots of offloads. And he was one of the go-to men to make, that 8 to 10 metres past the line.
I'm going to go his front row partner, Petro Sivanasiva.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, petrol 70 cents a litre.
Hey.
Well, Petro second receiver.
Yes.
I think he'd be a great addition, and I'll probably make him my captain as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big leader of that club for many years, whether he had the C beside his name or not. Australia played some great tests as well, so that's who I'd have as my forward and captain.
Well, there wasn't a lot that he didn't do, whether it was play for Australia, play for his state, did all of them very successfully. So, boys, we'll slide on down the ladder to your half. I'm going to go. This is a big draw card, for example, and it's Andrew Johns. That's my 7. Andrew Johns, just his vision, and even now, even though he hasn't been in the game for however long, he hasn't dropped the ball. His analysis and everything else, however he delivers it in a rather bizarre way, but yeah, he's just his general raw knowledge and his ability while he was playing. In my eyes, he was the best 7 that's probably ever played our game. So that's my 7. Will be Andrew Johns.
Yeah, with the half combos, I don't like to be too biased, but if I was going to pick a 5'8", it'd have to be Freddie. And I was half back, possibly looking at Lockyer, but I've stuck with my guns. I'm a big Adam Reynolds fan. When he's on, he is one of the best of all time. Just with his kicking alone, he's just absolute freakish. What he can do with his boot, plus with his field vision as well. So he'd be my number 7.
Hopefully his groin comes good for you, mate.
Well, I don't want to rub it better, so
He might be getting some of those wrist, fingers, or elbow injuries during lockdown.
Boys, I got Nathan Cleary. Obviously, he's just coming into his own. He's only 23 years of age. He's won a premiership now, played countless origins, and I can actually see him eclipsing JT and Andrew Johns.
Well, Andrew Johns actually
Heard it here
said
first.
that. Andrew Johns actually said
Heard it
that.
here second.
No, so he said basically, so where he's at now,
Yeah.
Andrew said, I wasn't there until I was 26, 27.
Yeah.
So that just shows you just how good he is and how far he'll go. So
Bit worried about his shoulder and how it might hold up now. He's got that injury. Obviously, JT had a lot of shoulder injuries as well, and it took him a while to get that right. So I'm a bit concerned about that. But I think his trajectory is going to eclipse all of them. He'll
Absolutely.
be an immortal.
yeah, definitely.
big call of the immortal. Drop the eye bomb.
We're not here to fuck spiders.
I was just about to say the best thing about him is his age, isn't
absolutely.
it? He has plenty of years left, and what he's done already. Where's he going to go?
Exactly right. Maybe Barcelona or Real Madrid. You never know. Money talks. On to the next one. Somewhere along in the backs. Now we actually spoke about it before we come on the mics, and basically said you're not going to spend $1 million on a winger. However, I would spend $1 million on Jared Hayne. And not because he's a para boy.
That's good. I might bail him out.
I think you might need a little bit more than that. Jared Hayne, particularly, so basically how much he carried para over the years of when we were horrible. He was always in the New South Wales squad and played some games for Australia. I just wish the one thing that I wanted to see was him just stay in the NRL. What could have been if he didn't go to America and have a crack at the NFL over there. Just see exactly the sort of stats and boxes he'd tick. So, but my picks are, I'll sort of toss it up. There's plenty of good ones, Billy Slater and whatever else. Billy Slater, in my eyes, is probably the best fullback in the game. But as I said, I'm looking for a bit of a draw card here, and it's going to be Jared Hayne.
I'll agree to disagree, but I've actually gone a fullback. The big hype at the moment is Tommy Turbo. I haven't chose him. Some of his players that he runs, if you wind the clock back a few years ago, leads into my pick, which is Anthony Minicello, one of the safest hands at fullback ever. Always put in 100%. The way he hit that line with speed, determination to try and get through the defenders was amazing every time. That's sort of what. So I think Turbo is a little bit of a hybrid between Slater and Minicello with some of the aspects of his game running the ball. So my pick's Minicello, the old Italian mountain cat.
Oh, Mini, I like Mini. Boys, I had Turbo written down. I crossed him out and I put in Billy Slater.
Yeah.
Best of the best, I believe. Best I've ever seen anyway. I'll be very rare if I see another one as good in my lifetime, I would think. Obviously, there's some great players that are there, close to Desco, Turbo, as we just spoke about. But for me, if I had to pick someone from any era, Billy Slater would be my number one.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Again, I'll agree to disagree.
Well, they say that he's also changed the way a fullback plays as well, which is hard to do. And he was the first one to do a lot of exploring the way he done, and did for many years. So
Just happy his football skills are better than his presentation skills on Fox Sports.
yeah, well, he's
Channel
actually
Channel 9.
Channel 9. He's actually on the coaching staff of St Kilda AFL club.
He's a head coach of
So-
Queensland
and head
and Origin
coach of
side now
Queensland,
as well. So, very good, boys. I like that three of a kind for this week, done and dusted. We're just going to take a short break, and we'll be back straight after this.
Another half win. From punters jumping in early or waiting too late. You get a good price on one leg, but the others have shortened dramatically. You still win, but it feels like you half win. Introducing Top Sport's Best of the Best Multi. Get top odds on every leg, every time. Don't be one of these. Just bet and forget Bob Multi. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Don't let the game play you. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
And thank you again to Top Sport coming on board as our major sponsor of the show. Really do appreciate it. If you're not already a member, make sure you do sign up and join. You can use the links in the description, or if you do sign up via their website, make sure you put in the promo code SGM Podcast. we'd really appreciate it. Boys, let's move into the betting market for this week. Not a lot going on at the moment, so we scratched around and found a bit of stuff that we're interested in. Hopefully you at home or listening and watching are as well. First off, boys, we've come across the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. This one is on a Sunday at 3 p.m. on main event, so if you're willing to fork out $70, that's by all means do it. But boys, third rubber match. So sorry, being the rubber match, the first one was a split draw. That was back in 2018. The second one, Fury knocked him out in the 7th round. How do you see this one playing out? Is it going to play out any different? Who you got? Tell us some talking points.
Yeah, I'll quickly touch on the first fight back there in 2018 in December. Fury came out pretty good in that one. It may have been a little bit underestimating, I think, in Deontay Wilder. He might have been a little bit too cocky, perhaps. He was good with his jabs. The thing that let him down, though, he was getting counter-punched to shit. That was his trouble. That's where he lost all his points. He was throwing one or two, but then he was copping them straight back. Wilder's hands in that fight too, you notice, I don't know if it's just the way he fights all the time, very, very low with his hands. So, as you're taught...
He's tall.
He is.
Which is an advantage.
He's always got his hands down, and with the reach of Fury, he's got 2 inches on him. There's 83 to 85 inch. And if you say 2 inches, it doesn't matter. Ask your wife.
Is he West Indian by any chance or something?
And the sort of punches he was throwing, that first one only looked to be for KOs. Wasn't really trying to score. So I think that might have put his fight out a little bit as well. And then we rolled into fight 2 there at the 22nd of Feb in 2020. Tyson Fury won that TKO in the 7th round. He was a lot more smarter with his jabs, and he wasn't sort of hanging around after he threw him. So that let Deontay Wilder chase him a little bit instead of just being able to stand there and counter him. And he pretty much punched the shit out of him in that fight, didn't he? Gave him a bit of a caning. So I think in this fight, Deontay Wilder needs to keep those hands up, protect his jaw at all times. In saying that, he also needs to do a bit of setting up with his jabs and his footwork. He has to sort of move around Fury a little bit more instead of just coming in for those big hooks and straight rights. I think Fury's going to be confident too after the last fight. He's going to come out and be dominant, I think. I've got him to win. He's still got to be wary, though, of those big shots from Deontay Wilder. He is a very, very big hitter.
Absolutely, and it's a sport where that's all it takes is just that one, get someone in the sweet spot, wobble them, and then follow through. It's certainly doable, Chez, as you said. If he's not careful, anything can happen.
I can't remember who he fought. Tyson Fury fought someone a few years ago now and had him up against the ropes right in the middle of the ring. And he's going to throw this big right-hand uppercut. His clean missed old mate hit himself. Anyway, he's won the fight. At the end of the fight, at the post-match interview, he said that was the hardest punch he took for the whole match.
So give yourself a wrap.
Yeah.
Like you said, boys, but they both got that one-punch knockout. Just going into that second match, there's a bit of controversy came out of it from Wilder's camp. I don't know if you're across that, Chez. There was, he wore that big suit, suit to represent, I think it was Black Power Month or something like that. They reckon it weighed about 40 pounds. And what he said, he reckons that added to his fatigue. Did you hear about that?
No.
So he reckons that he had it on for about 10 or 15 minutes prior to the fight, back in, behind the curtain, and wearing it to the ring and then having to climb the stairs up and that kind of stuff. He reckons that it made his legs start to feel that weight, and that's why come into the 7th round, that's what they reckon. That's the reason he's claiming he got beat, because he wore this big heavy suit for too long and he couldn't cope with the pressure.
Is that self-inflicted?
Oh, it's fucking looking for an excuse. That's what that is.
Well, I know bloody Bronze Adonis, but he's definitely missed a few leg days, old Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, just out of that controversy, out of the second fight, I've got here that he was claiming that Fury had used egg-shaped weights in his gloves, and that he also put a gypsy spell on him.
Must have collected his tears or something, did he? I don't know.
I think he's taken too many head knocks.
And they wonder why boxing is slowly on its way down. I'm not going to say slowly on the way down.
Heavyweight division.
It is rapidly on the way down, and other combat sports are rapidly on the way up. That sort of stuff is absolute nonsense. That's like getting bashed down at the BP and say, I had 2 pies before I got bashed.
Yeah.
Nothing to do.
That's why I was a bit slow.
Yeah, I was a bit slow because I had 2 cheese and bacon pies and a toasty. Please.
Should have bought a Red Bull instead.
So who are you picking for the fight, Ches?
Mate, I've gone Tyson Fury. I've got him head to head there. It's paying $1.32 when I looked at it last night, and I'm also going to put another side bet on. This one is for the fight to finish under 7.5 rounds, and that was paying $2.12.
Geez, that's short.
I think
Very short.
I'm looking at probably Tyson Fury. He's either going to win by a knockout, I think, in like round 5 or 6, or he's just going to be smart and just out fighting for the whole 12 rounds.
Just drag him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
bet
Fury.
yourself, mate. Yeah, I've got Fury as well. I was just looking at his. Sorry.
Hands canner.
I was just looking at his stats. He's a big bloke. I'll just go open my phone here.
He is 6'9".
6'9", 124 kilos. Can you imagine those
And
coming
quick.
down at you?
And quick still.
And can take a punch as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've got Fury as well.
Sorry, you watch the way that Fury throws his jabs too. So everyone's taught they have their hands here. When they throw their jabs, the right hand stays there to protect the jaw from the counter punches. Fury's a little bit like how Lennox Lewis used to throw him a little bit years ago. He sort of flicks the jabs up from his waist, and that's sort of hard to see. If you got your gloves here like this, you can't really see them till they're right there as well.
What about the old George Foreman where he used to have the old cross hand? That's a weird
I
one.
think that's called the Philly shell defense.
Philly shell. That's it.
Yeah.
Very good, boys. So we're all picking Fury in that fight. Like I said, Sunday, 3 p.m. If you do like that, get on down. Probably one of your local pubs might have it on. We might head down to the White Bull and watch it down there, boys. I think if they've got it on. What do
Get
you
it on the
reckon?
big screen.
I just also I ran a multi. Unfortunately, when this podcast comes out, this game will already be gone. So I've run Tyson Fury into the World Darts Grand Prix match. I think it's the start of round 2. It's actually filmed tonight, early morning hours, so we're going to miss it. But I've got Tyson Fury head-to-head, Ian White, Ratajski, Johnny Clayton, and Danny Noppert. And that's going to give me back $10.70 to 1. So hopefully they get up. And
Load up.
Yeah. And if anyone out there is watching the darts at the moment, it's the Grand Prix, so it's a little bit different to normal. They have to start with a double on their first dart. So if you're wondering what they're doing, that's what it is. And if you're looking for someone to back to win it, to win the whole comp, I'll be looking around sort of the skills of Peter Wright. He's very good on his doubles. Gerwin Price is playing good again. He'll definitely be around that quarterfinal, semi-final mark as well. Another big threat. And a little bit of underdog money there. I reckon Johnny Clayton as well.
The ferret.
The old ferret from Wales. He might be able to pick up the old trophy again like he did back in the Premier League at the start of the year.
That's a poor nickname, boys. Just
The ferret.
Well, when you see his profile pic, mate, you'll understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
All right, that wraps up that big rubber match between Fury and Wilder. So, like I said, get on down to your local and hopefully I'll have it on for you. Boys, let's move into the Caulfield Guineas. Big race on Saturday, 4:30 p.m, 1,600-metre race. It really is only a 2-horse race looking at the field. I said that earlier to J Rod and he corrected me and said it was a
1-horse race. I think Anemone in a walk.
Just going to walk it through and he's still win, you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. Anemone's a freak. It's a shame, actually, the distance is just that little bit bigger. I'd like to see it have a crack at the Everest. However, the Everest is not a Group 1, and it's invite only, and that's next weekend. So we'll touch on that next week, as there's plenty happening at the moment. I've already got my bets on for that little futures market, so we'll listen to that next week. But in my eyes, it's a 1-horse race. I think Anemone will win in a walk.
Boys, just looking through the field and the prices thanks to Top Sport, we've got Enemo at $2.70. Next closest is Artorias, and he's $3.50. And from there, it blows out to, I think, Tiger of Malay for $13. There was Lightsaber, also $13. But she's a fair way between second and third there.
Yeah, it definitely is. My bet for this race, I'm going to do a exacta, but I'm going to stand out first from second. So we'll have Enemo running in at first spot. I'll take a bit of a roughie here with one of my favourite jockeys, Lukey Nolan. He's riding number 6 Lightsaber, so I'm going to slot him in there to come second, just behind the odds on fave.
Yeah, Lukey Nolan, Peter Mooney is the trainer. For those who are in the punt game and those who aren't, that's actually Black Caviar's duo. Peter Mooney was the trainer of Black Caviar, and Luke Nolan was the chosen jockey and rode at every start. So he's got plenty of winning experience. Don't worry about that.
Very good, boys. So we're all picking Enemo. Come through with a victory
in a walk,
and you're going to try and find a bit of value with a roughie there, mate.
Yeah, with that little exacta there, with that Lightsaber running in second, I think a lot of people are going to load up on number 2, Artorius, as well. But with racing, a lot of possibilities can happen, and then there's some races there you get those big blowout winners, and I don't think this will be a blowout winner, but maybe a bit more of a blowout placing.
Very good, and also thanks to Top Sport, best of the best multis. Guaranteed best odds on Metros, on Saturday Metro. So make sure you head on over to Top Sport and open up an account as well. All right, boys, let's move along. And the other little nugget of sport that I found happening over the weekend is the Super League Grand Final over in the UK, playing at Old Trafford. Now, this one will suit those ones. Getting home from the pub on Saturday morning, Sunday night, 4 a.m. Sunday morning it's being kicked off at.
I'll be up.
So we were up that time last weekend after the grand final.
What do you mean, you'll be up or you'll still be up?
I'll still be up.
You'll be waking up or you'll just still be awake?
I'll be getting ready to have another bourbon or something by then, I'd say.
You're mad.
So, boys, we've got Catalan Dragons versus St Helens. Catalan Dragons into their first grand final. They're the outsiders paying $3.10. St Helens are looking for a three-peat, and they're a $1.39 favourite. Having a look through the team list, boys, there's a few names that you will recognise. Obviously, the most probably well-known one is Jimmy Maloney, playing for the Catalan Dragons. Going to be his last game at the elite level, so hopefully he can get a win there. Also, Dean Farre is also playing for the Dragons. And for St Helens, we've got Lachlan Coote. He's had a stellar career since he's moved over there in about 2019. As I said, they're looking for 3 straight St Helens. So
well, when he left the NRL, he was no short anyway. He was one of the best fullbacks in the game at the time.
Yeah, he had a bit of a falling out with the coach, I think, up there at Cowboys. So.
Him and a long line of others, I think.
Joel Thompson and Sione Matautia as well.
Joel Thompson, still going.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So good to see. So sorry,
Adrian Morley isn't featuring for St Helens this year, is he?
No, he might be on the coaching staff, I think. So, but a bit of value there if you do like the Dragons. They're outsiders, as I said, $3.10. But if you do like them, if you do want to get up early in the morning, something to flick on and watch. They're always good games, those grand finals. I remember one last year. I think it was 8-4 or something like that. It was a classic. So
I would taking the roughies and going with Jimmy Maloney. I think. You know me. I like my odds.
Like the barbecue alone, that's what I've heard.
It's one of those things, mate. If you're going to back a winner in that, just look here and just chase some form in the heavy. It just seems to always be wet and just miserable over there. Fair dinkum. But yeah, no, they never seem to disappoint these Super League Grand Finals and their Challenge Cups and whatever else. So it's a fairly big comp too when you look at it too, because it spans all the way through like France and places like that too. One thing I did actually, funny we talk about this, it just clicked in my mind. I've seen a couple of videos of, how close the grandstands are to the try lines. So there's literally dead ball line fence. The amount of people have gone through the dead ball line and bang over the top of the fence
with their 1 metre in goal area, whatever it is, tiny, aren't they?
Oh mate, freakish. But I'll ride St Helens home there as well. They're too good. They have been for many, many years too. Yeah. I'm talking like close to a decade, if not more.
Yeah, I'll second you there, mate. I'll jump on the back of you and get on St Helens as well.
Not the first time.
Boys, anything else you want to note for the punters out there this weekend before we wrap up the sport this week?
I've had a little sneaky one I have in the soccer. This week, it's an international break, so there's no Premier League, no Bundesliga, Serie A or anything like that. So, but what I've got a little sneaky one here in the Asian qualifiers. Australia features in this one too. So I've gone Australia to beat Oman, Japan to beat Saudi Arabia, and Iraq to beat Lebanon, $5.19. All head-to-heads. Boys, but the problem is that'll be played, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning our time. So I'll just be checking my Top Sport app just to see all those green ticks first thing in the morning. So that's my bet of the week in the soccer. As you said earlier, Clint, there's actually not a lot happening at the moment. It's a funny week. So that's it's all international break. I'd find one in Europe. However, I think I was looking at about 6 sides, and I think I got about $3. So struggle to get a bit of value there, and I won't be going anyone. There's some big outsiders, Germany paying like $1.09, Lithuania playing, 26s and stuff like that. So just
bit of value.
Unless you can have a 40-leg multi, you'll chase a bit of value over there, but we'll stick with that, I think, punters.
That sounds good.
Usually this weekend we got Bathurst on, boys, but they've moved it this year. It's not until like late November, early December, I think. So
yeah.
I was actually looking forward to sitting down and watching 6 hours of cars go round, but unfortunately not this week.
Well, as silly as it sounds, I'd had a big night on the soup.
Get out.
Not again.
Just the usual. So I had a real big night on the loudmouth soups. I think I might have had some soccer presentation or something, whenever it was. There was a reason why I was on it. Anyway, and I was that lit, I couldn't move the next day. And I actually sat down there and watched, and I will put my hand up and say I actually watched 6 hours of motor racing and enjoyed it.
That's good.
And a lot of people go, I won't fucking sit and watch that. Whether the fact that I couldn't do anything else because I was that hungover, but that was one of my highlights of Bathurst, and that was only a couple of years ago. But yeah, I love the enduros too. It brings out the old. Obviously now, your Greg Murphys, your Scafes, and your Craig Lowndes are sort of taking that step back. But it's good to see the endurance races when a lot of the older sort of races, drivers will come back. So like your Garth Tanders and everything like that. So.
Very good. Hit us with your charity bet for the weekend, boys. Just let the punters out there know who you got on for that charity bet, the $50. Thanks to Top Sport. All the money raised at the end of about 6 months, we're going to split up and give to our 3 chosen charities. So thanks again to Tristan and the team at Top Sport.
I'm going to stick with my Tyson Fury bet for the under 7.5 rounds. He's too short to take him head-to-head. So I have my 50 on that, and that's at $2.12. So that'll be a nice little double up there for the Starlight Children's Foundation.
Will be a nice double up there, Joe.
Absolutely. I'm going gotcha for life, sticking with them. I'm going to go my Asian qualifiers. So Australia to beat Oman, Japan to beat Saudi Arabia, Iraq to beat Lebanon. That's $5.90. So I'll have the full 50 on the beak.
Boys, mine's Royal Flying Doctor Services, as we mentioned last week. And I've actually gone St. Helens, into Fury, into Enemo. And that one's paying $5, so I'm going to put the whole 50 on that as well. So it'll be a nice little return there for the doctors if we can get that one up. So
put the house, the kids, the car, the works on it, mate,
and all the airplanes as well.
That's it.
Very good, boys. That wraps up that. Stick around. We've got 21 done. Beer of the week after this. We'll be back. We'll be straight back.
You can't beat Top Sport's best of the best multis. Top odds are guaranteed during any Saturday Metro meeting. Plus, there's best of the best to win up to $5,000 on Saturday Metro too. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Gamble responsibly.
Welcome back. Thank you. We've got 21 and done now. Great segment this. We do enjoy this. Had a great feedback last week. A few of the viewers, boys, on YouTube love your reactions when you get a question wrong, and then as soon as you get it wrong, you realise you got it right, or you know the right answer. So a bit more of that, please, boys. So we've actually got a couple of questions from one of our SGM Club members in today. So if you'd like to be a part of the show and part of 21 Done, all 3 of a kind, head on over to our website, join to become an SGM Club member. We'll get you on the show. Also got some great giveaways and stuff coming up as well. So head on over and make sure you join up. So who's going to test their buzzer first? I'll go with you, Jared.
Bertman.
Chez.
Seem to be working fine. All right. Starting off with an easy one, as we always do. How many tries were scored in last week's grand final?
Chez. 2.
Going to get a workout today.
I'm going to say 4.
4 is correct. Who were the try scorers?
Bertman. Matt Burton scored first. Cody Walker scored second.
Keep going. I'm just getting ready.
Put me on the spot. Crichton scored, and then I'm going to say Alex. I'm going to say Alex Johnson.
Oh, he's got it. Too good.
Yeah.
Got all 4.
That Crichton try, if that was a Momorovsky try, I would have won some money.
True. All right, boys. We just spoke about the Caulfield Guineas this weekend. What is the total prize money for the race?
The total prize money.
The total prize money for that race.
Ooh.
It's multiple choice. Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
Is it 1.5 million, 2 million, or 2.5?
Chez, 2.5.
I'm going to say 1.5.
Chez, I'll say 2 million. Get that one?
2 million. And that's broken up to 1.2 for the winner, 360K for second, 180K for third, and then it tails off up to about 8th place, I think. So 2 plays 1. Who wore number 33 for the Chicago Bulls during the 90s?
Chez, wasn't Dennis Rodman?
Correct, it wasn't.
Bertman, I'm going to say Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen, he's the man. So I will mention, obviously, our 21 Done is usually NRL focused, but now we're transitioned into our summer edition. We're going to do a sprinkling of all sports in here as well, so keep the mind thinking as well. 3 plays 1. Chez, you got a bit of work to do here. All right, you should both get this one. In The Simpsons, what is the name of Springfield's only minor league baseball team?
Bertman. Isotopes?
Springfield Isotopes. He's got it. 4 plays 1. What is Floyd Mayweather's professional boxing record?
Chez.
Ooh.
Is it 46-0?
I'm going to say 33-0.
Going to give the points to Chez. It's 50-0.
Oh,
Who's
wow.
closest to. All right. NFL team is the Green Bay who?
Chez, Packers.
Packers. He's coming back. 3 plays 4. Sorry. 4 plays 3. Who were the 3 Australian cricket players involved in Sandpaper Gate?
Bertman. Bancroft, Warner, Smith.
All right. Got that one right. 5 plays 3. Which team did little legend Preston Campbell play more games for? Penrith or the Titans?
Chez. Titans.
Titans is correct. 103 for the Titans, 96 for Penrith. And for those of you playing at home, he also played 54 for the Sharks and 14 for the Gold Coast Chargers. So Chez gets that one nice and close. 5 plays 4. Who is the current UFC featherweight champion who defended his title
Bertman.
2 weeks ago?
Alexander Volkanovski.
Oh,
I messed that up.
that's close. Can you spell it? Volkanovski. I'll give you the points.
Yeah.
I'll give you the points. How long is an NBA quarter?
Chez, 15 minutes.
10 minutes.
No, Chez, 12 minutes.
12 minutes. He's got it on the rebound.
Like
All
that.
right. This one is also multiple choice. How much did Far Lap's heart weigh? Is it A, 5.8 kilos, B, 6.35 kilos, or C, 7.19
We're
kilos?
swinging, that's a big heart.
Yeah, it was huge. Bertman, I'm going to say B.
So that was 6.35?
6.35.
Correct.
Bloody hell.
And it's about 1.5 times more than the average thoroughbreds.
It's in the museum too, I believe.
It is, yeah, it certainly is. Which former UFC welterweight champion did Jake Paul recently defeat in a boxing match?
Yeah. Oh, another quick guess here.
Quick.
Wasn't Cowboy Cerrone, was it?
No, yeah, correct, it wasn't.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't now. Just talking about the Wilder fight, it's got me.
Oh,
Go, Chez.
well, I got his face. I got to remember his
Yeah,
name.
I got his face. Give us a hint.
Initials are TW.
Bertman, Tyrone Woodley.
Tyron Woodley is correct. He's getting away from you, Chez.
That's all right.
8 plays 5. Got a few questions left here. Now, this is a question from one of our SGM Club members, Joel. So thanks for giving this one in, Joel. Who is the highest paid player in the NRL? Highest paid player in the NRL.
I want to say, I don't know. Oh my God, Bertman. I'm going to say Cherry Evans.
Cherry Evans is correct. There's a little side note here. Very important note. He's not worth half of that. That was from Joel. So.
And I totally agree.
And that's a fact.
9 plays 5. Ches, you got a bit of work to do. What is the nickname of Australian darts player Simon Whitlock?
Ches.
Oh, I'm going this way.
Oh, this is robbery.
Do I have to spell it? The Wizard.
The Wizard is correct. All right, we just got to keep it interesting. 6 plays 9. How many FIFA World Cups have Brazil won?
Oh, too many to count.
Ches. I don't guess because I don't watch them. 9.
Not that many.
Bertman, I'm going to say 4.
Ooh, I'm going to give you the points because you fucking whinge. Its answer's 5.
Yeah.
Another one from Joel is which 2 current NRL teams have never won a grand final?
Bertman, Warriors and Titans.
Yes. Did you read the...
No, I didn't actually. No, I
Did
didn't.
you read them?
No,
Because they
I
come
didn't.
through our Facebook page. You got access to
Hey,
them.
you the boss hog, not me.
Hey. All right, 11 plays 6.
Plenty of time for a comeback.
Which leg did Conor McGregor break
Batman.
in his last fight against Dustin Poirier?
Left.
Left is correct. Okay, champion Aussie fast bowler who took 563 test wickets is Glenn who?
Ches McGrath.
McGrath.
Can't believe I've got better on a cricket question.
Hey, he got me.
right.
Jeez.
Nathan Cleary was this year's Clive Churchill medalist. Who was last year's?
Bertman. I've already said Pappenhausen.
Pappenhausen's correct. Very good. All right. Last question, boys. This one is worth
Oh, yeah, 700.
9.
4, 5, 6, 7 points, so anyone can win. Now you have to listen carefully, all right? I've saved the best to last. If the Lakers scored 23 points in the first quarter and they follow that up with 18 points in the second quarter, followed by an additional 31 points in the third quarter, and then scored 27 points in the fourth quarter, how many points short of 100 would they
Ches.
be?
1.
1, yes, he's got it, he's won, yes, victory for Jerry, 99, that's correct.
Quick maths.
I had it too.
Oh, it's
I was
2
waiting
weeks in
for-
a row.
I was waiting for you to say how many all up. I was going to say
Yes.
99.
Thank God for those bonus points. I would have been behind by a mile again.
Oh, he's got going for the 3-peat next week, just like St. Helens. So.
Robbery.
Very good, boys. You're a good sport, J Rod. Just enjoy it, mate.
Not by choice.
The crowd loves you.
Ain't not by choice.
All right, let's head over and do this.
Sip of the week.
What do we got this week, boys?
We've been gifted a nice little 6-pack of the James Squire Broken Shackles Lager, running in at 4.6%. So it is a heavy, so you can only have 1 or 2 if you're going to be behind the wheel. These are delicious. There's no faults with this. I could drink this in the summer, in the winter, upside down, after I got out of bed, any time of the day. So
Breakfast beers.
bloody oath. This one for me is one of the best beers I've probably tried. So definitely a big 5 stubby lids. A big 5 out of 5 this week.
It's
Wowzers.
a big 5.
Might not be able to fit the graphic on the screen.
Yeah, someone I know had a bit of a session on this when it first came out, on tap, obviously, and said they woke up like they'd been hit by a bus the next day. So
That's when you know it's a good beer.
yeah, I'm yet to find out. It's not bad. Having said that, I'm not a big James Squire fan. Just a couple of the different drops, but it's cold and wet, and I'll give it 3.5.
Not a bad score, 8.5 total. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
So the Squire, James, Mr. Squire, if you are out there listening, obviously the Ches likes your beers a little bit more than J Rod, so send them into Ches next time. Anything else, boys, before we wrap her up?
Just quickly, we had the news come through this afternoon, late today being a Wednesday, that Benji Marshall has announced his retirement. There was talk of him, he was going to stick around for that one more year. I think maybe Bennett leaving might have had a little bit to do with that as well. Plus, I think he's just had enough. He's still enjoying his footy, but I think he knew it was sort of time to go.
Yeah.
And last week on Sunday, that was his chance to get his last trophy, so to speak, I think there. So that's why he's hung up the boots. So hats off to Benji. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. He's even had a crack at Ra.
Yeah, not very successful.
Not very successful.
Yeah,
but,
correct.
But I actually seen a graphic today of him, like the elevation of man evolution of man. Sorry, elevation. What the? Too many. Hey, these are heavies. Remember, and it was the different clubs that he's played at, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I looked at it and gone, "Fuck, he's a journey, man."
Yeah, he's been around because he started at the Tigers, went to the Saints, went to Brisbane, went to South. Anywhere else?
Went back to the Tigers, then went to Souths.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
At the same time, he had a little go at Ra.
Yeah.
Was that a
AFL? Did you have a crack at AFL? No.
You wouldn't know. I mean, if Junior Paulo played rugby for numerous years with some headgear on and a false name.
I actually saw someone look very similar to him in the Russian curling championship. So, you never know.
Junior, was he wearing headgear?
Very good, boys. That's it for another episode. Thanks for sticking around. As I mentioned off the top, if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Get the notification when we drop a new episode, and also head on over to our website and become an SGM Club member. And very good thanks to Top Sport, great sponsor of the show. If you're not already a member of Top Sport, head on over there and get punting for the weekend. Until next week, stay on side and don't text and drive.